What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Tony Smiles here, and we are live. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a crazy game one. I got my man here, Professor G. He was here with us last night, and he's back with us. He is gracious in his back. He's so gracious to come back with us today, and I appreciate you for it, Professor G. What's going on? How you doing tonight?
Good, man. Nice to be back with you, man. And I appreciate you inviting me to the show. And we can go ahead and do a quick recap. And thank you for all the viewers out there to see us and give you a good recap of game one. And then we'll go ahead and do game two, which was a very good victory for the Dodgers.
That's fantastic. Yo, game one was crazy, man. Game one was crazy. The Toronto Blue Jays blew out the Dodgers. If you guys did not see game one, we are about to talk about game one real quick, but then we're going to get on to game two because the Dodgers won. What was the score? What was the final score?
It was 11-4. With the Toronto Blue Jays doing the preponderance of their scoring in
On
the
game
sixth
one.
inning.
What was the score for
Yep.
tonight? The Dodgers
Score
took
for
it
tonight,
to tie the series.
5-1.
5-1. 5-1. So it's a tie series. The Canadians versus the Americans. We are 1-1, baby. We are 1-1. So, hey, let's go right into it and talk about the elephant in the room. Game one, what went wrong for the Dodgers and what went right that they fixed it and turned it around today.
What went wrong for the Dodgers? Their bullpen gave up a lot of runs. The starting pitching just did not last long enough. Uh, they the Dodgers were doing okay. They scored the first 2 runs in the first 3 innings, and then Toronto scored 2 runs in the fourth inning, so it made it 3-2. But then in the sixth inning, everything fell apart, where Snell couldn't last and started walking people. And once they brought the bullpen in, the Toronto Blue Jays scored 9 runs, 9 runs, capped by a grand slam by Addison Barger, and then a 2-run home run by Alejandro Kirk. And those are the 9 runs right there that really put this game out of reach. Now, Ohtani did come back with a 2-run home run later on in the seventh inning, but that damage has been done pretty much after the eighth and ninth inning was pretty quiet. But the damage is done. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Dodgers last night, 11-4. Uh, the Toronto Blue Jays had 14 hits that night, and the Dodgers managed to get only 6 hits. But there were no errors in the game, so it was a real dominant game by the Toronto Blue Jays.
Hey, we don't got no dog in this fight. You know, I'm a Yankee fan, you a Mets fan. That's yo. We did what we can to do. We watched both of them get hurt, but now it's a tie series. Game two is a different story. Did the Dodgers
Yeah,
come out with fire or what?
game two. This basically was the um, Yoshinobu. It was basically the Yoshinobu Yamamoto game, and he pitched a complete game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second complete game that this man has done in the playoffs. This is unheard of. This is something that you can call like Nolan Ryan or something like Greg Maddux or Tom Seaver. I mean, you're looking at this is like Tom Seaver-esque. So yeah, this is Yoshinobu's amazing, man. What do you
Man,
think?
he went from bell to bell. From the first inning all the way, he gave up 1 run. He gave up 1 run, and guess what? That was the only run that they had on the board because it was 5-1 at the end of the day.
That's right. That's right. Well, we can go through the innings. I'll take a few innings here. On the top of the first, the first run was scored. Will Smith singles, and then Freddie Freeman scores here in the first inning. So that came on the top of the first. Um, Pretty much nothing happened in the second inning. Both teams were 1-2-3. The next scoring run was on actually Toronto did this one. Toronto here in the bottom of the third. Um, Alejandro Kirk with a sacrifice fly to center field, and George Springer scores. So that made it 1-1 at
That was a
that bottom of
base
the
hit,
third right
correct?
there.
That was a base hit.
That was a base. That was a sacrifice a sacrifice to center, and George
Sacrifice to
Springer
center. That's
scored.
right.
It was a sacrifice, and because Springer was already at third, so he managed to run and score. And then we come to the everything was pretty quiet all the way to the seventh inning. And here comes the Dodgers one more time in the seventh inning. Will Smith homers a fly ball right to left field. So that's a 2-1. And then Max Muncy hits a home run himself. So there was an out in between, but Muncy comes in another ball to opposite field, right there in left field, and that makes it a 3-1 cap for the Los Angeles
It
Dodgers.
was
So
3-1
it's
at
three to
that
one.
point. That's
Three
right.
one at that point in the
Muncy
seventh.
hit the home run to the left field.
Yeah, he hit that all the way to left field, so he kept it out. So that's pretty much the scoring there all the way to the seventh. So then we could take it from there, Tony, from the seventh on in, because it was a pretty quiet for the Toronto Blue Jays in the seventh. So I'll let you take over here
Man,
for the Dodgers in the
I'm
eighth.
glad you're here, my brother. I'm glad you're here, my brother. Check this out, man. Hey, from the seventh on up, it was the Dodgers all the way to the end. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
They
sir.
they
All
they,
the way.
they scored those 3 runs early on, and then they came back and scored uh uh the next 2 runs with home runs all the way in the seventh and the eighth, and they
Yeah.
closed it out.
Yeah. In the eighth inning, they scored 2 more runs in the eighth, and that made it 5-1 at that point. And then Toronto did not do anything in the bottom of the eighth. And then the ninth inning was pretty quiet, zeros for both teams. It was actually a very well pitched game. Kevin Gausman actually did a good job until about the seventh inning. He kind of sort of ran out of gas. He only had like 80 pitches. But both pitchers were in the 50s. By the time they were in the fifth inning, they were in the 50s, 59 pitches
That
for
was in
both
their
pitchers.
50s, but when he left, it was the reverse situation of yesterday. When he left with bases loaded.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
caused the 2 runs. Because my man, I was saying he stole home, but it was a wild pitch. Correct?
Right. It was a wild pitch.
It was a wild pitch. What exactly is a wild pitch for
Yeah.
viewers who don't know what a wild pitch means?
Well, wild pitch, it's just a pitching throw from the pitcher. It's considered a wild pitch because the catcher can't handle it. So it's a wild pitch, and especially most of the time it goes to the backstop. In this case, with the pitcher throwing a wild pitch, there was a runner at third, and he was able to score easily from third base because the ball went all the way to the backstop. There's the catcher has no control over it. So that was an easy score for the Dodgers. So. But a wild pitch it happens in the game sometimes. You kind of don't want it to happen, especially so late in the ball game. So the Toronto bullpen was not in control at that time. So this time Toronto in the last game yesterday, their bullpen was solid. Not so much this time in the eighth inning. So the bullpen and the change of pitchers did not happen. And Snyder, the manager, just could not find a closer, somebody to close the game for and stop those runs from scoring. But it was actually a well pitched game and not too bad. Just Toronto had a bad seventh inning, and then the next 2 runs were just extra for the Dodgers, and they made it a 5-1 score. But for the most part, all the way to the sixth inning, this was a pitching duel between Kevin Gausman and Yoshinobu. But Yoshinobu Yamamoto, man, he really showed that he is one of the aces of the Dodgers staff. He showed his repertoire. He was throwing pitches. Only 4 hits allowed, and he had 8 strikeouts in the game, and he showed everything. He showed all his fastballs, a 2-seamer, everything. He was showing his slider. Everything was going on for him, and he had it under control. And it seems like Yoshinobu was getting stronger as the time went on. The only hiccup was the very first run in the third inning with Toronto, but otherwise he managed to control the game from the third inning on. He had it under control, Tony.
It wasn't there. There's a moment there in the seventh inning where the Toronto decided to challenge the call of the umpires when at second. The man ran back to second, and to me, I thought he was safe. And they
Yeah,
challenged it once that
yeah,
momentum started picking up.
yeah. That was it was a safe call. If you look in the camera, the guy Pi, I guess it was a Pi has put his toe on the base. I think Toronto, what they wanted to do was trying to put like a little timeout on the system there. I mean, it's late in the ball game. You know, eighth inning. The momentum was swinging towards the Dodgers, and I figured, you know, let's just see. It was a close call, but I tell you what, it was a very good throw by the outfielder, though, right into second base, man, and it made the close. It made it a very close play, but in the camera you could see in the highlight that the toe just touched the base just in time, and overall he was called safe. So
Yeah, but
it was a
that
safe
slowed
play.
down. That did exactly what it was intended to do because Mookie Betts was on what you call it at home plate, and he had to
Yeah,
stop. He had to stop,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
I think he scored a ground ball to first.
yeah. He scored. He scored. So Mookie,
Not scored, but he made it on
well
first
the
base.
Yeah, he made it. So Andy Pages scored with a wild pitch in the eighth. He's the one that scored in the wild pitch because once Toronto the guy walked everybody and made it to a bases loaded. But once they had well, they moved the runners
That's right. That's
from
right.
second to third. Yeah, from second to third. And once they hit that wild pitch, Andy Pajes was the one that scored the wild pitch in the eighth. But yeah, you know, it was a very close game. It was just Toronto looked like they kind of gassed a little bit today. Dodgers game. I mean, now it's 1-1. And I believe now it's going to go to Los Angeles for the next three games. It's a 2-3-2 format. Um, what do you think, Tony? The third game, what do you think is going to happen?
Man, let me recap real quick. The Dodgers and Toronto took 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 the second game, but they lost the first game decisively. Decisively, there was no question in anybody's mind that they lost before even the ninth inning, before they even got to the ninth inning.
Right.
That said, that said, what did the Dodgers did right this time that they didn't do that what they didn't do right last night?
Well, it came down to pitching. This is what makes the Dodgers such a hard opponent. I mean, you got four possible aces in that staff, right? Yoshinobu showed that he was superior in the pitching mound, and he kept his composure. There's only one run scored on him. It really was really not much of a run there, one run. And the Dodgers showed that they had superior pitching. That's all the difference. The difference was Yoshinobu had controlled the game. He knew what he was going to do out there. He kept the Blue Jays. The biggest thing is he kept Blue Jays off the bases. You know, I mean, there's only four hits in this game by the
And
Blue Jays, and really Yoshinobu didn't really didn't really walk that many people at all, right? So that's the main difference, right? Yesterday's game, the Dodgers walked a lot of folks, and they paid the price.
yeah, but they used a
Yoshinobu,
lot of pitching yesterday. They used a lot. I mean,
yeah,
today the Dodgers used. I mean, the Toronto used a lot of pitching. The Canadians used a lot of pitching today.
yeah. Well, I mean, they had to stop make they had to make a stop in the seventh. They had to make a stop in the seventh and the eighth, so they had to exploit that bullpen with the left and right-handed switching situation. But the biggest difference is that Yoshinobu controlled the game. He had controlled the game. That's the biggest difference. The Dodgers pitching prevailed today. Yesterday, not so much. You know,
No,
so that's the
but
biggest difference.
that said, the fact that you saying that Yoshinobu is the one that made this game, he is not going to pitch again. Probably the game seven. Probably, I don't think he's going to pitch again. So what are they going to do for game three? That's my question because they're not going to have him back. He played the whole nine innings by himself.
Well, I believe in the rotation, I think they have Tyler Glass now or Shohei Ohtani pitching, one of the two. I don't know if they're going to put Shohei Ohtani or Glass now for game three and four. Then, of course, if they have Game 5 in LA, they're going to bring Blake Snell back. So you're right, Yoshinobu. If here's the deal, if it does go Game 7, the Game 7 pitcher will be Yoshinobu. I really believe the
Wow.
Dodgers will come back with him. Oh yeah, they're going to come back with Yoshinobu. You got to win Game 7. You got to go with your best pitcher right now. The best pitcher they got right now is Yoshinobu. So you got to go with Game 7 with Yoshinobu. So if they're going to follow up with either Glass now or Otani, right? They're going to pitch possibly 3 and 4. Then you're going to go with Blake Snell, right? So now you got to figure out if you're down, you're gonna have to have Yoshinobu ready for Game 6 or 7, and if it's a 3-3 game, I don't know. I would really save my bullets and do Game 7 Yoshinobu, but it depends on the matchup. It depends on what's going to happen here. Now LA has a unique situation. They stole one game at home from Toronto in Canada. It makes it a 1-1 series. You have 3 games in LA. You could probably say you need to win these 3 games, and you don't want it to go back to Canada. You want to go ahead and take it out in the United States and leave it there and put the championship back to the United States.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So the reason I said that I said that as well during the game, not now, but you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that is because if if they did not win today, it would have been a struggle. They would have to come back to Toronto for Game 6, I believe,
yes,
to try to finish him off Game 6 and 7. That is a
right.
no. That is a no for the defending champions. They needed to win at least one game, which they did, and now they can put them in the deficit, and it makes it harder historically for Toronto to come back, especially having to play, not at home. They're gonna have them Dodgers fans driving them crazy.
And overall, Toronto has had successful season this year. They've been successful in the fact that they are a pretty good road team, right? Yes, they have some home cooking at home. They play better at home, but they also play pretty good on the road too. So, well, let's see. Let's see what's going to happen here in the next 3 games. I really believe that LA can take control of this game. In LA, they have solid pitching. Tyler Glass now. You got Blake Snell coming back probably. Shohei Otani was pitching very well in that game in the championship series with Milwaukee. So I mean, they're pitching. Tyler Glasnow was doing very well in the championship series as well. I mean, you got 2 good pitchers coming up in your staff. I think this favors LA going back to LA.
We're talking about momentum here now. That's what we're talking about, correct?
The momentum seems like it's shifting to the Los Angeles Dodgers, especially with the starting pitching that they have.
Yeah. So Otani might come out tomorrow, or not tomorrow. When is the next game?
The
Tuesday,
next game won't be to Monday. It'll be Monday.
Monday.
Tomorrow is a
Tomorrow's a
road day.
travel
Yeah,
day.
tomorrow. Yeah, travel day for the both teams, and then I guess Monday will be the game 3
So we'll be back
in
here
Los
on
Angeles.
Monday to give reaction on Game 3, correct?
Absolutely. We'll have the game post game highlights for the fans out there who really want to hear the World Series and the baseball aficionados out there. Hey Tony, this is kind of one of the fun things to do. I mean, watching this game, you could almost see the momentum of the game switching, even though it was 1-1 in the beginning. But you could see the momentum switching as soon as the Dodgers scored those runs. It was 3-1. It looked like the momentum was already, the pendulum was switching to Toronto to the Dodgers right away, especially the way Yoshinobu was pitching.
And then the crowd was quiet. Yesterday the crowd was in the game. No one left
Yes.
until the end of the game.
Yeah.
Tonight, people were heading to the exits early. Early. You saw them leaving early. So guess what? The momentum has shifted. And now they coming to America today. I'm telling you, they coming to America.
Maybe they're not headed to the exits more than they were headed to the hot dog stand to get some hot dogs or something.
Nah, they got some hot dogs, but they was on their way out the door. Dude, it was 5-1. There was no way they was gonna come back. And then the Dodgers, it looked like they gave up the top of the top. They gave up the top of the ninth real quick. Like they swung at everything just to get out of there. It was 1, 2, 3, pop, 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 and then it was down at the bottom of the ninth, dude. And
Yeah,
half the stadium was walking out. They
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
waiting. They
yeah.
weren't waiting to see if there was a comeback. But the reason they should have stayed is because the way they scored that those what do you call it 9 runs yesterday, which that's hardly ever done in history. We probably won't see that again in our lifetime. 9 runs in 1 inning.
Probably not. Probably not. It's tough. I mean that it was a historical feat by the Blue Jays, especially in their hometown, and but it gave the Blue Jays fans something to cheer about, because it's been so long. I mean, since back when they won back to back in 92, 93. This has been exciting for the Canada. You got to give it to the Canadians. They haven't had much excitement since the 90s, and now they're getting it, and especially with the explosive sixth inning they had yesterday, scoring those 9 runs. I mean, the Canadians got to be hopeful at least. I mean, you're going back to LA 1-1. That's not a bad situation. I mean, if you're Toronto, I mean, you say, hey, let's regroup. Let's get this stuff together. Let's go to LA and see if we can get at least 2 out of 3 in LA, right? And then take it home.
Yes, sir.
Because that's what Toronto's thinking. Let's at least take 2 out of 3 in LA because we can go home and finish them up. You know, so that's what Toronto should be gearing for, is taking at least 2 out of 3 in LA, because now you go back to Toronto and you have 2 chances to win the game at home. But if you lose all 3 games in LA, it's over, man.
That's it.
Or even if how about if you win only 1 game in LA, it's going to go to game 6, but you're going at a disadvantage because now it's 3-2 Los Angeles, right? You're still going at disadvantage. That means you have to sweep in Toronto. So it's even makes it a little harder for you to do that. Toronto's, if I was Toronto and I was looking at this team, I'm like pumping them up. I'm like, guys, we got to win at least 2 out of 3, if not just all 3 of these games. And we could do a reverse. We could sweep in the melee, and then we're gonna have to party in Toronto. But I doubt very seriously that Toronto could sweep the LA Dodgers in LA. I think it's hard, Tony. What do you think?
Well, honestly, I don't think it's going to happen because we're talking about defending champions who know how to win, who know
Yes.
how to win. And I'm pretty sure Magic Johnson is sitting there in the back office calling people like, yo, if they lose the next game, there's going to be phone calls to be made. Somebody's going to be up late the next night talking about, hey, what the heck is going on? So I'm going to tell you right now, I believe that game 3, the Dodgers will come in with that momentum they bring in. They're bringing that heat from Canada. That's odd to say because it's cold up there right now. Even you said it. The pitchers, like, their hands is cold and all of that. Little fingers is cold. It's cold up there. Not it coming. Hey, that's a good question. Does that change how the Blue Jays are going to play now that the temperature is a lot hotter, because it's going to be hotter in LA?
No,
How does
I
that
think
affect the
I think
players?
no, I don't
Not
think it's going to be
climatizing.
an effect. Yeah, I don't think it's going to affect the pitching, the weather. I mean, it's nice in Los Angeles. There's no advantage for either team. I think pitchers and players right now, the adrenaline is that they're in the World Series. That's more the adrenaline factor. I mean, if I was in the World Series, I don't care what temperature I'm playing in. I'm in the World Series. I'm here to win. And that's the mentality that both of these teams are going into. I mean, you got, right now the series is 1-1. It could be anybody's World Series now, even though it's going to LA with a little bit of momentum. But you can't count the Toronto Blue Jays out. I mean, this team has gotten here for a reason. This team is talented. They have what it takes to win. I mean, this is the representative of the American League. Look at the teams that they beat, to get here. So we got to give a little respect to the Blue Jays for being here. They've been one of the best teams all season long. All season long, they've been one of the best teams. The Yankees came a little late in the ball game towards September, and they ended up with the same record. But the reason Toronto won the division is a head-to-head play. They beat the Yankees 8 games to 5, so Toronto wins the division. If the Yankees would have won at least a couple of games from Toronto, we would be talking Yankees right now. We would be talking Dodgers Yankees, right? That's what we would be talking about, right?
Yeah.
But no, you know what's funny? that the Dodgers are facing the American League East again, right? Yankees last year, and now Toronto this year. How good is that? Is this? It goes to show you, the American League East, how dominant that division has been throughout the years with the Yankees, Toronto, Boston. I mean, it's a very dominant division. But anyway, going back to the game, I see this game with momentum going to the Dodgers at home cooking, and let's see if the Blue Jays respond.
But my question to you is, as a former player yourself, you know, the time change, the jet lag. The Dodgers are going to be at home, so they're going to be back to comfortable weather. Not none of this cold stuff. You know, how is it going to affect Toronto in Game 3? As opposed to the way they got to be climatized at home. They had a whole break. I think it was 10 days. You said they were
Yeah,
rested.
they're resting for quite a few days there.
Yeah, before.
To me, if I, as a player, I would think this. No, to me, Tony, mentally, these guys have been mentally tough all season long. They've been going. Toronto has been traveling. I mean, they have gone to Seattle, from Toronto to Seattle, right? And then go from New York facing the Yankees and going all the way to the West Coast to meet to meet Seattle with their series, and then go to Toronto for some hook cooking. These players are already seasoned. They're ready to go. They're motivated. The adrenaline factor. I think no factor, Tony. No factor. I mean, yeah, there may be. I think maybe in the first couple of innings, a little nervousness that comes out in the game. The first couple of innings when you're playing in Los Angeles, because I don't know if Toronto has played Los Angeles this year. I haven't checked the books yet, but yeah, I mean, the Dodgers have an advantage playing at home. That's natural. The Dodgers play well at home. They are at home. They're going to be cooking, and Toronto has to be ready for that. They got to be ready. You can't blame it on the jet lag or anything. You gotta have to play. You gotta get down there and play.
So are we going to give? Are we predicting that the Toronto might take one of the three games in Los Angeles and bring it back, or will the Dodgers do what Dodgers do and surprise everyone with a clean sweep that ends the game in Los Angeles? If they win the next three games, because it's 1-1, they win the next three games. Whoever wins the next three games, if any of them two sweep, it's over. It'll end in Los Angeles. There will be no
Yeah.
game 5.
No, and that's what I think the Los Angeles
Game
Dodgers would love to do that. They would love to sweep all three games. Now you're talking about a team, Toronto, that can hit. They're very patient at the plate. They don't strike out a lot. So you have to be careful with this Toronto team. And just because you beat them today doesn't mean you're going to beat them tomorrow. Toronto over the season, they've been one of those teams. Toronto has been one of those teams that's very unique. They don't have long winnings. They don't have long losing streaks. Um, I think they lost what 2 or 3 games in a row, but they never had like a 4 or 5 or 6 game losing streak like the Mets. You know, I mean, Toronto, finds a way to stop these losing streaks, and it's due because they do have actually some good pitchers that can actually stop it. So Toronto needs to play their game, which is get on base, take the walks, and then try to score runs in bunches. That's how they win. That's how they win the game. And they have and Toronto plays a very good defense. I mean, you think about this, and there hasn't been. If you think about this has been some really clean games. There's been hardly any errors in these games. You're talking about two teams that are pretty good defensively. Above average. The main thing is don't make any mistakes, right? Don't make any mistakes. Don't no bobbling, no letting the ball go over your head, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's been some clean games, so it's about. I mean, this is the battle of the Titans here. I mean, Toronto's ability to be patient on the plate, and then Dodgers pitching is elite. So that's what we're facing here: is an elite pitching versus some good hitting.
Do we know?
So
Do we know who's pitching for Toronto? Do we know the lineup at all?
no, for Toronto, I don't know.
Yeah,
Let
for
me
Game
look.
Three.
Let me look real quick. Who's going to be at the pitching for Toronto?
Yeah, because if they got good pitching coming up, then the Dodgers won't play their best, and they would give up Game 3 in order to take the next two games. Because
Yeah.
I've seen they did it with Game 1. They didn't put
So
their
it looks
best out in Game 1.
well. This is going to be a pretty interesting matchup. It looks like Tyler Glass now for the Dodgers, and it'll be Scherzer for Game 3. So
Scherzer.
yeah, Scherzer. He had a good game. I mean, Scherzer is a veteran, and he's
And a
wily
champion.
and yeah, he's very cagey, and he knows how to pitch, and it's hard to take the ball from this guy, and
Is it hard to
he
take this ball from Scherzer?
yeah, man. Managers walk up to the mound, man. I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to take the ball away from him, man. Maybe I should just talk to him. Okay, man, I'm gonna give you one more batter, man. I'm picking you out in the next game. And then Scherzer looks at him like, you better not take me out.
Yeah, he's
Just walk back where you came from. You better, you know. And,
yeah,
so
Scherzer.
yeah, man.
Scherzer, yeah, his eyes bulged up. He's like, where you
Yeah,
coming? And the manager went back to the dugout, and then he messed
yeah,
up, and he came back and tucked his ass out.
There was one game. The manager started walking, like coming off the dugout. Sure, like this.
Yeah.
Stop. Go back. Go back where
Dude,
you came from. I got
Scherzer's
this.
what? Like is he like 40 years old, man?
He's 40 years old, man. Still pitching, man. He still got it. He still got it, man. I mean, if you saw him in the championship series there with Seattle, man, he did have control of the game, man. He pitched well, man. He pitched well. He doesn't throw his fastball like he used to have. I mean, he used to have like a 98, 99, 97 fastball. He got 92, 94 is where he's throwing right now. But what his out pitch is the slider. That's his out pitch, man. That's what he's doing. He's mixing it up, with the fastballs, the two four seamers, and then bringing in the slider, and especially on the left-handed hitters. But the thing is a little different here. The Dodgers are pretty well balanced in the lineup. You got switch hitters, you got left and right. So this is a different lineup that Scherzer is going to face. And by the way, Scherzer's very familiar with this Los Angeles lineup. Okay, he's faced them before, so in the National League, so he's very
And
familiar.
he's got two championships, don't he?
Yeah,
Scherzer
he
got two rings.
Yeah, he's got the Nationals, and I believe what is it, the Texas Rangers? He got the ring there. But yeah, he's very familiar with.
He's got two rings, bro. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, well, you're talking about a guy who's won 3 Cy Youngs and championship caliber pitcher. He's gonna bring it. He's gonna bring it. So I think that's a great matchup. You got Tyler Glass now, the wily young guy that comes in to throw heat, right, 100 miles an hour, and versus Scherzer, the crafty veteran. That's a good matchup. What do you think?
Yeah, man. You know what? In that matchup, I have to give the edge to Toronto because Scherzer is unpredictable, and the thing about him is that he starts out well, but towards when he starts gassing out. He's not a young man anymore. He can't do what he used to. Father Time is undefeated and undisputed. There's no way every time he comes out, something goes terribly wrong. So the
Yeah,
thing is, by the fifth and sixth inning, he's gonna have trouble, and he's gonna want to stay in there and try to correct his mistakes. And we're gonna see a show. we
yeah,
got
man.
we're gonna see a show with Scherzer, man. He's not gonna want to come out. He's like, dude, I can get this. I can do this. He's gonna have a bases loaded situation or something like that. And, and they was like, yo, you gotta go, man. You gotta go, old man. Let's go. That or he could be like he could do the unthinkable and pitch a total shutout. I mean, the Dodgers can be like, we're not gonna fuck with this old man and let him ride. I can see that happening too. Sometimes in baseball, they look up to the veterans and they give them a good game for one. Here, this is the
Right,
last one
right.
you're getting. This is the last one you're getting. You're gonna retire after this. Something like that. I don't know what they talk about in the dugout, but sometimes
Yeah.
players do what players do. They take
No,
care of each other.
that's a great point. But you think about this, man. You're talking about the Toronto manager Schneider. Schneider's only like 45 years old, man. He's seen Scherzer all through his career. They're not that He's not that far off from age, and then he's gonna walk up to the mound, and Scherzer's gonna be like, "Hey, man, you ain't. I'm not coming out yet. Just wait till
Yeah,
I'm
he
back.
can turn around and go. He
You
can
turn around
turn
and go
around and
back.
go back. I'm not coming
Yeah.
out yet.
No,
You not hear
yeah.
what I
So
said?
Snyder's no, Snyder has his hands full, but no, you got to credit Toronto manager Snyder, man. He's got this team running on all cylinders all season long. I believe, and this is just my opinion, I think Snyder should probably be the manager of the year for the American League. You got to give him a lot of credit to bring a Toronto team back from last place. I mean, what they were in last place last year, or very close to last place last year. To be able to come back over here and win and go into the World Series the next year, 2025. It's a lot of credit goes to this manager, man, to bring this team up there. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to a good game three, man. Tyler Glass now,
I
the veteran Scherzer. It's going to be a great matchup.
I still think what is I mean, what's his contract like? Is it just a year left, or does he have like? Because I mean, he's 40. What did he say? 45?
No, I think there's been hints and rumors of Scherzer retiring. This will be his last year. I think he's head
Yeah,
towards retirement.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm pretty
mm,
sure he wants to end his career with another ring. So,
yeah,
and I'm not
yeah.
sure. I'm not sure if like I said, if the Dodgers dugout is going to be lenient for him and give him a good game. Like let him ride.
Right.
Like let
No,
the old man live one last game, and then we're gonna tear them up in
right.
Toronto.
No, I really believe that the Toronto, it's, you know, Scherzer going to Toronto was almost like, it's almost destiny, right? I mean, how you went to the Texas Rangers, we win a ring there, and then you go to Toronto, and here you are back in the World Series a couple years later. I mean, it's like almost destiny. It's like this is meant to happen for him. And great for Scherzer, right? What a great pitcher he's been throughout the years. What a competitor he's been. He's definitely going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, there's no question this guy is should be in the Hall of Fame. One of the best pitchers that we've seen in our generation, right? This is one of the best pitchers. I mean, besides Pedro Martinez and some others that I've seen. Roy Halladay, Toronto, man, Hall of Famer. If it wasn't for and unfortunately he passed away on us a little young. From he died on I guess an accident. But Roy Halladay, one of the best pitchers Toronto have ever had. But yeah, Scherzer's a Hall of Famer, man, in my book, and everybody knows that. And he's not going to go down easy tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, but Monday, when they face each other on Game 3. I don't think Scherzer's going to just give it up. He's going to do his best. He's going to throw that baseball until he bleeds. That's what's going to happen. That's the kind of heart the guy has.
So are we calling Game 3 a 50-50 matchup, or is there are you leaning towards one team over the other?
Um, I'm leaning more towards the Dodgers because they're playing at home, and Tyler Glass now has pitched well lately. It's hard to predict these games, because like you say, Scherzer may be pitching the game of his life on Game 3, and then stops the Dodgers completely. How about if he has a complete game? What he'll do what Yoshinobu did today. And then Toronto goes 2-1 now. Now the Dodgers got their backpedaling now, and they're gonna have to bring Shohei Ohtani on Game 4. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm kind of with you in a way, 50-50, because Tyler Glass now may bring his game up. We'll see what he has. And remember now, Tyler Glass now has had his injuries this season, and he has not pitched a complete full season. He hasn't had 30 starts or something like that. We got to watch out for that as well. So I think it depends on Dave Roberts. How long do you want to go with Tyler Glass now? How long? Especially a guy that has been injury prone all season. So that's the key question right there for the Dodgers.
Yeah,
But they're at home, so advantage for the Dodgers for being at home, right?
yeah, they're gonna have the bottom of the ninth to try to clean stuff up, but that's the last place you want to be trying to clean stuff up, the bottom of the ninth, especially if you down 11-1, like, or 11 or whatever that was, 11-4. You know, you're climbing that mountain. So we the Dodgers cannot have a repeat of Game One at all,
No,
at all.
absolutely not.
And again, that was a historical game. People might not notice this, but again, 9 runs in 1 inning in a post game in a World Series game, that might not happen again in our lifetime. So, hey, I'm glad that we got to witness it together. And any final thoughts for Game 3?
No, I think it's going to be a great game. It's 1-1. I mean, this is exactly what the fans, any baseball fan out there, whether you follow the Dodgers or the Blue Jays or not. I mean, look at us. I'm a Mets fan. You're a Yankee fan. We just love baseball overall, and so far so good. This has been a very great matchup. Toronto dominating the first game, and then Yoshinobu dominating game two, because you got to give him credit. Yoshinobu dominated. He's the
First ballot Hall of
hero of game
Famer.
two.
He's not
Yeah,
even done yet his career.
yeah, he dominated this game. He's really showing exactly what the Dodgers were hoping for when they got him from Japan. Hey, the Dodgers sure know how to get these international players in their team. I mean, you got Yoshinobu, you got Rokoki Sasaki, you got the biggest player in the game today, Otani, and then you got this, not as well known center fielder, Andy Pajes from Cuba. Where do you get that guy from, right? He comes from Cuba, and he's playing center field in the World Series. I mean, shout out to Andy Pajes. Hey, Andy Pajes, you did it, my friend, going from Cuba and into the World Series, Latinos. And so, yeah, it's going to be a great game, man. It's a 50-50. I think we'll enjoy the game and see what happens. I think the first 5 or 6 innings will determine how this game's going to go for game three.
Man, thank you very much for coming back on tonight. I appreciate you for doing that. Hopefully, you come back on for Game 3. And for everyone else, and for you, thank you for the privilege of your time. And remember to keep your hands up, chin tucked, and eyes open. And we'll see you on Game 3. And protect yourself at all times, baby. Good night.